Good day, students, everyone that has tuned into this session. A very warm welcome to you. And I really hope that we will be able to satisfy the expectations that you have of this session and the sessions to follow. Now, I'm your lecturer for this module this year. I'm sure you have met me already on my UNISA on the Moodle welcome site. And I can just mention to you that I am in the academia for 30 years. I was also in practice as a grade 2 teacher. So I think I have what it takes to assist you through this module this year. You are more than welcome to read my little CV on the screen a bit later after the session. Then just quickly, we are going to give you an overview of the module, just to once again put everything into perspective, because you've received a study guide, tutorial letters, and everything may be here, there, and everywhere. But with this little overview, we are just going to inform you what the admin regarding this module will be. Now, first of all, how will you communicate with your lecturer? Now, there are several options: WhatsApp, telephone, MyLife email, and the discussion forum. But maybe I can just mention to you that your lecturers will prefer the MyLife email, because that is the most easy way that we can communicate to you. And then if you communicate back, then we have a trail of communication that we can say, if you've got a problem with your assignment, we can send your request to assignments or the exam section, and just by forwarding your email wherever it needs to go to be resolved. So kindly remember that the email communication will be the best for your lecturers. And then students, always remember to include your name, your student number, and the module code in your communication. Your identity at UNISA is your student number. We can search for any kind of information on your academic record, your personal record on your student number. So please, in any kind of communication with us, include your name, student number, and the module code. Because if you only include your student number and we do not know which module code, then we have to go to your student number on the system, see for which module you have registered. Is it for my module? No, it's not. So yeah, you can see that it is very important that you need to include all three of these issues in any communication with your lecturer. Even though you send a WhatsApp, please put your name, student number, and module code every time. Now let's dive right into the module. This module, FPT3701, Foundation Phase Teaching. Now, according to me, and maybe all lecturers will say that, but according to me, this is the most important module in your 40 modules in your B.Ed Foundation Phase degree. Because here in this module, we will equip you with how to teach in the foundation phase. So the main purpose of this module will be you will learn a range of foundation phase teaching methods, approaches, and strategies. And that is what it's all about, to teach. That's why we are teachers. But we are going to equip you with teaching methods, approaches, and strategies. Now, if we have just a bit more detail on this, then we are going to assist you how to adapt your teaching to diverse learner needs, translate theory into practice, learn about culturally responsive teaching and learning, formulate relevant approaches to assessment, classroom management, and discipline. Now, why do we say we are going to give you foundation phase teaching methods, approaches, and strategies? And then we say, but now we have to adapt teaching to diverse learners' needs. Well, that is exactly what we are going to assist you with, because you cannot use only one teaching strategy, only one method in your classroom. You have to adapt your teaching to diverse learners' needs. And then also, we are also going to assist you to translate theory into practice. You know, we are at the university, we are in an academic space, so we are preparing you to take the theory that we are and the content that we are going to give to you in this module, how to use it in practice. That is the whole idea, but we have to start with theory first. Now, in Unit 1, we will touch upon the theory practice issue. So for now, that is just what it's very important. We need to start with theory, but then we are going to assist you to translate it into practice, how you can use it in practice. And then obviously, the next issue is learn about cultural responsive teaching. Very, very important. You know, we are not monocultural schools for a long time in South Africa anymore, and it is always important to acknowledge the different cultures in your classroom. And then what is the aim of teaching is that you and the learner um, meet their outcomes. So we will also um, formulate relevant approaches to assessment, because how do you measure the outcomes in your lesson is assessment. And then also we will assist you with classroom management and discipline, very important aspects, because discipline these days are very, very difficult for teachers in the classroom. Now, how do we build our competence in this module? Now, first of all, you need to have a good overview and knowledge of your module outcomes. So each module will have different outcomes because it's a different heading and content of each of the units. And then if you know what each unit is about, then you must work a work plan based on the module outcomes in the study guide. In the study guide, there is a work plan, but you have to fill that work plan according to your available time. I will do Unit 1 in, say, February to March. I will do Unit 2, March to June. And so you need to work a work plan for yourself. And then obviously, while you gone through the study material, then a huge thing of this module and all of your modules will be the assessment. So yeah, we won't just let you read through the study material. You must really show us in your assessments that you have a grip on all the content that we have given you. So the assessment will be then assignment 1 and assignment 2. That is your summative assessment. So that is before the exam. So we want to pace you with regards to your knowledge of the content. And then the last assessment will be your examination. That is usually in October and November. And then you will have your results of your assignments, and you will know if you have assignment exam entrance, and then the big studying for the exam starts, but we are also going to assist you through that. And then how are all the parts connected? Now, we would really like to improve your competence in this module, and this is about what you should know and be able to do. That will be the competence that we would like in the end, and the outcomes. This tells you especially the goals we want to reach in each unit. So we cannot just go on and give you content without structure. Now, the structure is defined by the outcomes that we set. Now, at the beginning of each unit, there are 4 or 5 outcomes formulated, and that is according to which we are going to involve you in unpacking the content. And then once again, the work plan, this helps with knowing what the content is and what to do, how to work systematically through what you have to do. That's a mouthful, but that is a very important part of your studies for this module. And then, as we've said, the assessment is the evidence of what you've learned. Now, first of all, when you go through your study guide, after each section, there will be certain activities that you need to do. These activities are based on the content, and that is also most of the times implementation of the content that you've gone through. And this is to help you with small chunks of learning. Then, as we have said, the assignments helps you with to cluster more chunks of the learning. And then the examinations gives the overall picture of your learning and is combined with your assignment marks. Now, I would just like to add this bit of information, and we will probably say it a lot. When you do your assignments, that is when you go through your work and you have to reproduce answers for the questions that were set in your assignments. But I need to just mention to you, if we at any time discover that you have just copied and pasted from your study guide, you will receive no marks for your assignment. Just be warned, the university is very, very serious about plagiarism, and that kind of copying and pasting will not suffice. You have to write the answers in your own words, and if there is a reference in your study guide, then you give the reference. If there isn't, then you give the study guide as your reference. Kindly remember that. Now, these 40 modules that you are doing in your foundation phase are definitely linked to each other. Now, management in foundation phase, curriculum studies, and your sociology of education and assessment in education in the foundation phase degree. These are the modules that are closely linked to teaching in the foundation phase. So if you have a small section on classroom management and discipline in this module, then you can, to have a bit more information, go to your management in foundation phase module. If we have a section on teaching strategies in this module, teaching in foundation phase, you can always go to your curriculum studies module and also there then read more about teaching strategies. And so also the assessment in education and sociology of education. So those are the three modules that are very closely linked to this module. Now, how is this module related to teaching practice? Well, as we have said, are going to give you the theory this year for your but actually you need to go to practice one day. And then how is this module related to practice? The knowledge you get from the theory part of the module will help you to develop the skill for reflective teaching in teaching practice. So you will see, we will venture into Unit 1 and beginning with reflective and effective and active learning, very important in the classroom. So that is where we will have a huge focus on reflective teaching, so that you can take that back or into your teaching practice. Now, this is the modules, the units included in your module. Foundation phase teaching with Unit 1, reflective and effective teaching. Unit 2, active learning. Unit 3, teaching strategies in the foundation phase. Unit 4, assessment in the foundation phase. And Unit 5, classroom management and discipline. Now, how we are going to discover what we need to discover and get to all the outcomes that we need to achieve is that we will have different sessions. So this session is then only the... Okay, John, can you stop there, please? Or John, keep on. We can just cut out this section. All right. So we are going to have sessions on all 5 units. So our first session was then the overview session, and this unit is now Unit 1, Theories and Principles of Reflective and Effective Teaching. And the assessment criteria that we have, now the assessment criteria is also sort of translated or synonyms to the outcomes. So that we state the outcomes, and then based on the outcomes, we have our assessment criteria. So at the end of this unit, students should be able to define reflective and effective teaching, identify theories that are relevant to reflective and effective teaching, discuss theories in relation to the learning process of teaching, explain principles of reflective and effective teaching, and reflect upon and apply, that is the practice, the principles of effective and reflective teaching to a variety of contexts in the foundation phase. Now then we get to Unit 2. Create strategies to facilitate active learning in the foundation phase. Now, once again, we do have our outcomes, but that is translated into the assessment criteria. So at the end of this module, unit, you need to be able to define the concept of active learning. Remember, in the previous unit, we spoke about reflective and effective learning. Now here, we are focusing on active learning. Then identify strategies to encourage active learning. Apply appropriate reflective teaching strategies to promote active learning. You can see how the two overlaps, and the one is a prerequisite for the other. Apply reflective teaching strategies to promote active learning. And then we also want you to analyze the curriculum for opportunities for active learning. Unpack and apply the code of conduct for supporting young children's learning. And the code of conduct will be the code of conduct that is set out in SACE, that is the South African Council for Teacher Education. And SACE is the body where you need to register as a teacher, and they provide a code of conduct for teachers. And then document reflection on active learning. So that is the assessment criteria for Unit 2. When we get to Unit 3, we need to identify and apply strategies to promote appropriate and cultural responsive teaching. So what you need to be able to do at the end of this unit, you need to define developmentally appropriate and cultural responsive teaching. You need to discuss different strategies for developmentally and culturally appropriate teaching in relation to varying needs of children from different cultures. And then, very important, theory to practice, you need to design lessons that are developmentally appropriate and culturally responsive. And then we have Unit 4, very important, assessment in the foundation phase. So we are going to teach children in the classroom, but at the end, we need to see what they have grasped of what we have taught them. So then we do assessments. Now, after this unit, we are also going to assess you on what you have taken from this module. So students should be able to define assessment, explain the nature of assessment, conceptualize assessment in the foundation phase, theory to practice, plan for assessment in the foundation phase, plan for variety of assessment strategies in the foundation phase, and recording and reporting of learning in the foundation phase. And then our last module is formulate approaches for effective classroom management and discipline. So after this module, you should be able to define a learning-orientated environment that should be learner-centered, define the concept of classroom management and discuss its importance in a learner-orientated environment, identify approaches to classroom management, explore ways of managing challenging behaviors in the foundation phase classroom, identify strategies for maintaining classroom discipline, and once again, reflect on effective classroom management and discipline in the foundation phase classroom. Now, this is a mouthful, and this needs to be planned very, very well. So how do I manage my time? Plan an appropriate schedule. We have already mentioned that there is a template for you in your study guide. So you need to fill in the dates. When are you going to do what? The assignments, preparation for the exam, and you need to fill in the exam date. And the exam date, you will receive the exam date officially from UNISA by say August, September. And how much time should I then spend on this module? Well, just to give you a quick breakdown, I think this is also in your study guide mentioned, 10 hours is 1 credit. This module is a 12 credit module. Therefore, you need to spend 120 hours on this module, reading through, looking at videos, do the activities, do the assignments. So for unit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we propose that you use 24 hours for each of these units. But maybe the assessment unit do not have that much content, so you can take from that hours to one of your other units. But start off by a broad planning in this way. And then how should I develop a work plan? Now, these are all the aspects that you need to keep in consideration. And then what must I do with regards to these aspects? And then you can put in your dates and your deadlines and then comment on your progress. So if here was a date, February 21, then you comment, okay, task done, or assignment submitted. So this is a nice way for your work plan, because it is necessary. Because if you have 3, 4 modules, you have to do this for each of your modules. Otherwise, you will get stuck and you will find that you have 2 closing dates on the same day. And if you haven't planned, then you will run into difficulties. And then there's also the open educational resources. These are in your study guide. You can just copy and paste these websites into Google, and then it will take you to the website. Very, very interesting websites for you to visit, and also for your practice one day. This TESA Africa do have a lot of practical ideas, so we really, really want to have your focus on this educational resources. So it's not only your study guide and tutorial letters that are important, but these educational resources as well. Now, for now, it is all that I actually want to say. We've got now an overview of this module, and how we are going to proceed is that we are going to have sessions on each of the modules, and we are going to take you through the content of each module. So I hope you have a good understanding of the module, what needs to be done, and thank you for now, and all of the best. Goodbye.